Finn, thanks for your time today. Obviously getting a few more minutes under your belt, a couple starts as well. How did that feel over in Australia?
It was a great feeling, honestly. Been getting a few minutes off the bench over the last month or two. So, yeah, stoked to get a couple starts, but hopefully I can continue to add more to my game and then hopefully continue starting in the future.
How did you feel it went for you out there on the field? Obviously 4 points for the team, which is great results, but on a personal level, how do you think you played?
I think in the first game against Macarthur, playing more in my position as a 6 was a little bit easier for me in terms of just my overall role. It's more what I'm used to, what I've done for the past, 5 years since I've been here. So, but then again, playing a bit further forward in the Perth game was definitely a challenge. It was hard to kind of get used to that position in the week that we had, but Chiefy asked me to do a job, so I thought I did all right. I think there's a lot of things I could improve on, but I'm not trying to be overly critical of myself, knowing that it's my first 2 starts.
Has Chiefy had any discussions with you since those starts, talking about what he'd like to see more, what he liked that you did out there?
Just a few words here and there, just explaining kind of what I can do better, what he thought I did well out there. Not overly. I think it'll come with, we're trying to focus on the games ahead now rather than the games that have just been played. So he hasn't been too critical or too forthcoming about how I played.
And now coming back to those games ahead, Brenton mentioned it before, a whole bunch at home. How important is it to perform and pick up as many points as possible?
Hugely important. I think this weekend, if we can get 3 points this weekend, it'll be massive in terms of keeping the distance between us and the ones chasing. But, I think we're always confident when we're at home. So these are the games where we need to really capitalise on getting the most out of them and really putting teams away.
Adelaide, I'm sure you've seen it, they're not having as good as a season as they would have hoped. Last year, they actually knocked you guys out. How do you think that they'll perform against you guys in Wellington?
No, I think they're still a very dangerous team, whether they've had a good season or not. They've got some dangerous players, so I think we just got to be prepared that they're going to come and they're going to be as good as they have been in the past. And just because they're having a bad season now, they're still in the run for top 6. So. You never really can count a team out.
How special would it be to be in your first season in the Phoenix and to finish top of the league?
It would be immense, to have that one thing in your first season is incredible. There's not a lot of people that can say that they've got that. So yeah, it would mean the world to everyone in the dressing room, and I imagine throughout the club everyone will be ecstatic.
Is it talked about much in the dressing room at the moment that you guys are on top, or is it not really talked about?
Not too much. I mean, everyone's pretty focused on the games they've got ahead. It gets mentioned a little bit, but nothing to the point where we're overly celebrating too early. Everyone's pretty focused on their roles at the moment.
And just lastly, working with Chiefy, obviously your first season working with Chiefy, what has it been like? How have you found him as a coach?
No, it's been really progressive to my game, and I think to everyone's game. It's definitely been a good different to what I've had. He's very focused tactically on how we can set up to beat all the teams in the league, and I guess it's just something that I've not experienced before, but I think it's a very good thing.
Cool.
A few questions from Andrew Vorman and stuff. How did it feel against Macarthur when you were suddenly thrust into the starting lineup when Roos went down?
It was. I don't think I really had time to be nervous about it. It was just one of those things where, all the older boys and everyone in the starting squad got around me real quick, and all the staff got around me real quick to, go out there and do a job. And I didn't really have time to be nervous about it at all. I don't think.
Was it frustrating previously when you didn't get the starts when other players were down, against Central Coast and Brisbane?
Yeah, it's always frustrating. I would always like to start games. That's every footballer's goal, to start games and play as many games as possible. But you got to get over it for the good of the team, and help everyone else. So in those games where I haven't started and I've come off the bench, I've just tried to focus on what my role would be when I do come off the bench and hopefully perform to the best of my ability and to help the team.
Yeah, how did you cope with being on the bench?
I mean, I'm not going to lie and say that I was the happiest person in the world. Like, I don't think, but once, you know, I'm pretty lucky that I've got a lot of older guys who've been in my position as well, and they've explained to me like that's just the way things go, and you know, you got to wait your time, and when your time does come, you've got to perform. So I've kind of come to the, I don't know, realization, or I feel like I've matured a lot in that respect. Is I've now starting to realize that I can still improve even though I'm not starting, and I can still, you know, just bide my time until it eventually does come and then perform.
Any players in particular who have been quite good for that?
I mean, Alex Rufer, Tim Payne, Costa, they've all been amazing to me. David Ball, Scott Wooten, Scotty's very, I don't know, he's very mature in that respect, that he's come from not playing many minutes in a Man United team to now, you know, he's very senior, he's played a lot of games throughout Europe. So, and then Roofs and Costa, you know, they were in the Phoenix from a very young age as well. So they've explained to me, and they've been very like helpful in the respect of you know, getting me to understand what my role is in the team, and not saying that like my time will come.
Yeah, has it been slightly harder to accept given that so many of your mates from the reserves are, you know, starting?
Yeah, 100%. You know, although it's a team game, you want yourself to do well, and I felt like coming off the World Cup where I thought I was very effective in my position, but I'm coming into a team where my position is taken up by the captain and one of the best players in the team right now, and like you can't be I'm not gonna kid myself and say that I should be starting over the best player and the captain in the team. So like, yeah, it's definitely been a big learning curve, but at the same time, like I felt like every young player goes through that. You know, you see it throughout Europe. You see a lot of young players sitting on the bench when, you know, they could be starting. And yeah, I don't think I've proven myself quite yet to overtake Alex Rufer, but you know, it's gonna take some time, and hopefully I can get to the point where maybe me and him can start together.
Yeah, absolutely. And having 7 players from the academy in the starting lineup against Macarthur, how special was that?
Oh yeah, no, it was amazing to see. We've kind of realised that something like that probably would happen throughout the season, at the start of the season, where, you know, we didn't have a lot of players coming in to the squad this year other than the academy boys, and I think everyone has been doing their roles perfectly. You've got a couple of boys now who are solidified starters and probably will be for a while, I can imagine. So no, I think it's a very proud moment for people like, you know, Steve Coleman and all those coaches throughout the academy who have pushed everyone to get to this stage in their career.
Yeah, and are you starting to gain some belief? Is it sort of growing as the season's been going on?
Yeah, I think like everyone, the way I see it is none of us are scared to play anyone anymore. Like maybe at the start of the season there was a bit of tentativeness around the group about, you know, coming up against the big clubs, and now I don't think anyone's scared to play anyone in the league, and I think we're all pretty confident that when we go out on the field we're going to win or get a result out of the game.